I heard about it on Facebook. I saw the post going around that Laura had written about the bugs in her food and how, students at OU don't deserve to have awful food at the cafeteria and the on-campus restaurants. And so, because of seeing that, I started this petition on change.org to get people to sign it to encourage Housing and Food to change the way they assess their food serving facilities and train food handlers.
It all kind of started with the salad bar. Everything, the lettuce was just like not very fresh, and I didn't like the idea of all the food just like sitting out 24/7, and that just like didn't really, it just sounds gross. And then also the hot bar, just having the food just sit there and just kind of melt and stand out until it was all eaten up. That just wasn't very good, and a lot of the ingredients just didn't seem fresh, especially on the salad bar, and so that's just, it's a floppy lettuce, so it wasn't very crisp.
I emailed the petition to Frank Henry, who is in charge of housing and food distribution, and I emailed him saying I would like to set up a meeting within the next week so that we can talk about what everyone has to say and what everyone would like to see changed. And he was very quick to respond. He told me to set up a meeting with his office, and so I'm going with the student body president, Daniel Pay, and his vice president, Michael Lutter, this Friday to talk to Housing and Food about the changes that we need to have made.
I don't like the idea of just food sitting out and people can touch on it, or it'll just like sit out and just like melt, and I know that there's like the water, so things would be like moist or like mushy. It's just, it doesn't seem very appetizing.
The petition is basically changing how the food handling facilities are assessed and how food handlers are trained. I talked to students who do work in housing and food, and they told me about how they are trained, which is basically just a video and kind of a day of, telling them what's okay, what's not okay, and then throwing them into the job. And there's not really much beyond that. I know that students that have worked in, in dish services aren't really told what to do. They're basically just, given the job, and they come in one day and they're working. And I think that, there's obviously been problems not just with where we prepare food, but even in places like Etc., which is our convenience store in the bottom of one of the dorms, where food wasn't stored at the right temperatures, and it's moldy when students get it out of the box. And I don't really think that students are taught what to look for and who to talk to when there is an issue. I don't think it will be brushed off. I definitely, as someone who really cares about this university, want to make sure that this isn't something that is brushed to the side after all the hype about it fades away. I think that it's something that needs to be changed and something that I definitely won't forget. I know that any institutional change takes a long time to implement, so whether it be at the beginning of the spring semester or the beginning of the next fall semester, I think that changes will happen slowly but surely.